Wake up in the morning, I just gotta get it. Wake up in the morning, I just gotta get it.
All right, welcome everyone to the Schoology Learning podcast. Thanks for joining us. This is the podcast where we talk about some things we're hearing out in the world about education, as well as some tips and tricks about our favorite platform, which is, of course, Schoology. My name is Kellie Adie, and I'm joined by my colleague, Ericka Waterman.
Hey, Kellie. I'm so excited for us to take this time. I just remember how fun it was when I was teaching to take the lunchtime or, any little break that we had and just kind of talk with colleagues. So hopefully everyone can join us and just get a little chit chat about education and Schoology while they're at it.
Yeah, so let's get started.
Kellie, how you doing?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm good, but we are in the thick of like user group season. I feel like this is the time frame. Everybody's getting together. We've got state groups getting together. I know you and I are going to be at Colorado Connect here coming up.
Yes, we are.
And and just prepping for all these always just reminds me of how sometimes I have to very, very quickly ramp up and learn something new because I'm being asked to present on it. When I may not have been the expert in the room previously, I have to suddenly become one. And I was reminded of that exact scenario happened with our sister product, our curriculum and instruction product that we have here at PowerSchool that integrates its lesson planner with Schoology. I had gotten asked to present on this, knew nothing about it, but thankfully had a wonderful resource to help me out. And we have that resource here today. So Keenan, welcome. I'm so glad you're here to chat with us.
Yeah, happy to be here. Thanks for the invite. It's exciting. Never done a podcast before.
It's we're something special, right, Kellie? We're just something special. So Keenan, just so everybody knows, is the main product manager for the curriculum and instruction product. And he's the one who like helped me get the, my basically a playground account for me so that I could test out what this whole lesson planner thing was about and its tie-in with Schoology. And let me tell y'all, if your district has not set up this connection, because the lesson planner is free, if you have not yet set up the connection, I highly, highly encourage your administration or to talk to your administration about getting this going. It is so slick. Now, full disclosure, I come from a background where I did all my lesson plans on paper, the book. Yeah,
book.
Kellie, you had the book with the big pages, and
I might still have all of them downstairs in a box. So
did you keep them?
I think
just in case someone needs you to teach.
Yeah, just in case. What if I just teach Hamlet again?
Pull these out. Yeah. Well, I had like different colored pens for like the different parts. So
Yes,
I love that.
Yeah.
So Keenan basically took this, the whole team, a whole host of people took the notion of that paper lesson planner and went, why would you be doing it that way? There's so much better way. There's a better technology way. And it was simple things that the tool did that were just mind blowing to me. And so Keenan, I'm hoping you can talk to us about, a few of your favorites, but I know one of mine was the ability to shift the lesson. Like, hey, something happened today, and I needed to move everything, and being able to shift it that easy instead of me trying to draw arrows of where things were going in my lesson planner, simple concepts that make a huge difference and just save so much time. So that was one of my favorites. Do you have favorites working with the product like you do?
Absolutely. I mean, I feel like half the time, so just a bit of context, when I started, because it was like a small village of people. It was not just me. I came into this. I was very fortunate to work with some great people to develop this thing. And it really was to help replace those paper plan books back in the day. And it's obviously evolved quite significantly since then. But I started in the customer success world, and I spent a lot of time doing trainings, working directly with schools, making sure they're successful. And half the time I'm thinking, wow, I feel like if just this feature or this button was here, I wouldn't it would save all these people so much time. And then now fast forward to now where I'm a product manager and I get to help lead the building of those buttons and those things existing. So you mentioned colors. colors goes like a million, like it's probably, I mean, I like it just because it makes it look cool. So I really like that. Color coding. I think my favorite's probably the year rollover. So you can, it's definitely one of those things where we know we want to save teachers time, right? I think that's one of the big value adds of bringing technology into the classroom, is taking the monotony out of things. You're not sitting there drawing those arrows, or you're not at the start of the school year having to redo everything on a new calendar. Like the technology can do that for you. So I think that's one of the biggest, like most powerful moments I've had in a training session, where you're going into the second year of using this thing and you show teachers like, yeah, just follow this quick little wizard, takes less than 5 minutes, and boom, you've got your whole new year set up, ready to rock based on everything you did last year. You can tweak it, improve it, do what you know what I mean? So I think that is probably my favorite, a big feature that saves people a lot of time. So
Yeah,
Well,
that's a good one.
I think mine is, and full disclosure, like I was a fan of this before PowerSchool ever acquired it, because we had an integration with what used to be Chalk in Schoology for years before the acquisition from. So I was super excited to see that come into the fold. But I think one of my favorite things, there's like two things I really love. One of them is just the ease of sharing. So, I mean, we had so many challenges with, subs and people being out and like trying to email the office manager or attach it, and now like I think just that thing alone of just making it so easy to either PDF or link is great. And then I also like, there's some things that are sort of hidden that I think are awesome. So I don't know that everyone always goes into seeing like which standards you've covered, but like
Right.
as a teacher, that's a cool thing to have a view of. So I really, really liked that part of it. But I mean, like Ericka said, it's a really slick, so easy to use. I mean, it didn't take you long to become an expert, did it, Ericka?
No,
Yeah.
no, I immediately felt comfortable. Yeah, I was very wowed by the product. And I do kind of appreciate Keenan, you saying like, oh, I was doing this and wanted to be able to change where the button was. So you became the product manager to change where the button was. Just so everyone knows, it's not that easy.
No.
It is.
And full
So for all
disclosure,
of
it's
you
not
out there
me like
going,
unilaterally deciding what the tool does. Like I can't stress enough how insanely helpful it is to have like spent a decade working with schools, leading trainings, talking to teachers. Back in the talking about chalk days, we had literally every person at the company did support. So I don't care if you're an engineer, marketing, sales, you're doing at least one shift where you're talking to teachers and they're telling you what's working, what's not working, and that just building that empathy was paramount. So I feel proud to be part of that system. For better or worse, I led that schedule and got to tell people like, yeah, you need to do chat, you need to help some people. But yeah, I think that really goes a long way, and we definitely carry that through, right? We're always doing feedback sessions. We're making sure we're sitting down, getting the feedback, whether it's from you've recently implemented or just talking to teachers generally using the tool and just kind of hearing what they're liking and what they'd like to see improved.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Really good stuff. And there's been even more exciting news happening with lesson plans specifically, which, as Kellie and I are always biased towards our Schoology product, we really like anything that connects and helps make Schoology that much better for educators. And, the lesson plan integration is definitely one of those. But do you mind telling us a little bit about what's just come out with lesson plans?
Yeah, so we're really excited to pull this in because I know, as you mentioned, Schoology really already has a lot of those features. We're bringing in PowerBuddy into your lesson planning. So what we really wanted to do is take advantage of some of those things. Even you were just talking about, Kellie, with the standards. So if you're pulling in standards, we really want to make it easy to give you that starting point. So some of these tools are a little bit more geared towards specific things. But if all you have is a topic and you know what standard or skill you're trying to master with that topic, you can simply add that very quickly to your lesson. So not only is it tracked in there and you know where you've done those things, but then you can, from there, select PowerBuddy. It's going to pull all that context in for you, so there's no rework. and it's just going to generate things for you. So whether you're looking for a lesson in its entirety to start kind of riffing off of, you're just maybe looking for a specific classroom activity, or maybe you want just like a really good engaging lesson hook. Because I'm sure, I mean, you two know better
Oh
than
yeah.
I've never been in the classroom myself as a teacher, but I know how big of a difference that makes, especially as a student. If you get that engagement right off the bat, and then that really kind of sets the tone for the whole lesson. So that those are just a couple of the quick little things that you can do with it, and that's, I think, the most exciting part with bringing PowerBuddy, which is powered by AI, and bringing that into your lesson planner, is that like we're just getting started. Like there's so many cool things that we can add into this that it's just like we're starting here, but I'm really excited by rolling this out and making this more widely available, so that directly from your lesson planner, you can do those things and save time.
That is, I can't wait because, well, I don't know. I think I've shared this with both of you, but there have been numerous studies on what teachers are actually using AI for right now, and lesson planner is a high frequency used thing for AI. And I think it's because like, it's not that it's tedious, but sometimes it's like just the cognitive, like trying to come up with stuff that can be like, I just need a nudge here or something. So I'm
Yeah.
super excited about that. And the other thing that's interesting too is I do love that there's a way to have like, the templates available. So, the district or the school can create a template that's shared so that people can use that as a starting point. Because one thing we've also seen, I think, with some research around what's coming out of AI for lesson planning is that it isn't always high quality. Because you think about all of the
Yeah.
mediocre lesson plans that are just out there on the internet that, just are part of the language model. And I feel like the way that we're building this is making it so that we're being really thoughtful around the elements that are important. And like, yeah, so kudos. I'm really excited.
Yeah, and I will say, those of you who have tried out the PowerBuddy tools that are available in Schoology, you're going to recognize a lot of these tools that are available now in the lesson plans. But I think the point, Keenan, that you made that I think is probably going to be is what's so amazing about this is you're pulling in that context. So it's taking it to the next level. I don't have to retype anything, because I know that's sometimes my biggest frustration. I'll be in something, but I want help from AI, but I have to go outside of where I'm in, let's say email, for example. And so it's nice to just have it all in one spot. I think that's probably the biggest, feature, if you will, of our PowerBuddy tools is the fact that you're staying right there. You're going to be adding it right there. There's no need to copy and paste it. It's going to do it for you. But then the lesson planner really taking it to the next level with the context and dropping that in there. So just excellent work. I think everybody's going to love it. Definitely much needed. Just, giving people that one more leg up on, going through and creating those lesson plans, which can be tedious on a good day.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that like you highlight some good things there, like meet people where they're at. Like I don't want to have to go to some separate thing. But also that the familiarity piece, right? Like especially if you've already seen this in schools, you've explored some of the tools. You're absolutely right. You'll see a lot of the exact same powerful things that you can do in the lesson planner. And you're talking earlier, Kelly, about the acquisition. Like we were also very excited, right? Obviously, as being Chalk, coming into the PowerSchool family, and just the opportunities it's presented with kind of getting into these teacher workflows within Schoology. It's really exciting. Yeah, this is, like I said, just the starting point of what we can do with this here. It's pretty cool.
Absolutely. In fact, just so everybody knows, Keenan and I play nice, and we're constantly looking at how our products can get more tightly integrated. So one of the things that we're doing is working to strengthen the ability to add the materials directly to the lesson plans. So it just makes, from Schoology, making it just like super easy to, again, to really fill out those lesson plans and have all that there, so you can take advantage of things like roll into the next year and being able to send, to the substitutes or to your principal, like all of those good things we talked about before. It really kind of comes into play with having those strong integrations.
So we haven't really talked about the curriculum and instruction part of of C&I, because the lesson planner is a part that is available to everybody in Schoology. But I think most people know it's actually part of a much bigger product line that's designed to really help, I think, bring some efficacy to like knowing what your curriculum map is, your pacing guide, and then aligning that with your lesson planning, which is always, in my experience, been a very disconnected workflow where there's a binder with some stuff or that's stuff on SharePoint or in Google or whatever. And then, but you're lesson planning somewhere else and it really goes together nicely. Isn't that, now that's where the AI tools first started, right, Keenan? And it's
Yeah.
also available in the curriculum mapping part.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. That's kind of where we started to foray into it a little bit more of providing those curriculum maps. So those, like, if you're ever, maybe you're listening to this podcast and 5 minutes in, you're like, I'm going to go check this thing out. You may notice that there's a curriculum when you're in your lesson planner option, and you can go in there. And if you don't have it, it kind of gives you an overview of what it does. But it really is bringing those curriculum maps to life. I mean, maybe it's a little bit wordy and it's my engineer background kind of surfacing itself when I say this, but operationalizing your curriculum is kind of what comes to mind when I think about it, trying to bring that into that planner. So there's a lot of cool features. I don't want to go down too big of a rabbit hole here with the curriculum mapping, but definitely providing that backbone and really giving schools that the district curated, I think, is especially comes to mind a lot. Like it gives districts a lot of control over kind of, hey, especially and as we all know, like teacher turnover is a reality, and you want to arm teachers with everything they need so they can succeed when they're getting into their classroom. That's what we hope the curriculum maps can help you with, and bringing it into a planning tool. So you're kind of not looking for it. You're able to leverage it right then and there. And that's where we, like you said, Kelly, those PowerBuddy is also available in the curriculum solution to help you. And that's, I think, the biggest thing we heard when we originally rolled it out, and we were doing betas and stuff, generating ideas. Like sometimes you just like, you know what you need to teach, and you're just looking for new, cool ways to do it. And it kind of really just gives people options. Like just as a teacher, if you're just kind of looking for ideas and you want new ones, then the curriculum app is a really great way to pull that from a trusted source within your district and just kind of have that and leverage it immediately.
I do remember there were things that I loved teaching every year, and I couldn't wait to, like, I had favorite units. Then there were others that were not my favorites necessarily. And by the fourth period, I was like bored with myself. Like, so, I mean, I would have
the
liked
students know. They know.
a midday pivot of like, this is not working. I need something else help.
Right. Yeah. And to be able to make that change and then have that change recorded, like being able to like have a way where I can look back and then, next year I can go, oh yeah, this is what I did and I liked it, or this is what I did and I want to tweak this part. So let's tweak it. I agree. I just think that, the whole curriculum instruction product is very impressive. So highly encourage those. If you haven't checked out the lesson planner integration, definitely start there, but definitely look at the whole curriculum map, everything it can offer, because it just changes. It makes that into more of a living document or like something that you're really interacting with versus the thing you look at the beginning of the year and then ignore. So it's good stuff. Oh, Kelly. Yeah, I had a big breathe in right there. So of course you would think that I was going to talk. So Keenan, something that we like to ask people is like, how do you come up with like the next thing? Because right, there's always going to be people who don't like where a button is. There's always going to be people who have great ideas on what, should happen with the product. How do you kind of determine that?
That's a really good question. So I think there's definitely a few different sources I personally have used. I will shamelessly plug the ideas portal because that is one of them. And so if you haven't heard of it yet, please do go in there, share your ideas. I've always had this kind of in the back of my head. I know for every one person you hear from, there's always like at least 10 other people that probably had the same idea. They just didn't bother telling the company about it or kind of sharing it, writing it down. So please don't be shy. That is definitely a very helpful one. We do tend to, I try and be a fly in the wall for as many trainings as I can be on. And the other cool thing, I know it was kind of mentioned, we have there's the free lesson planner as part of Schoology, but there is a like free version too for everyone around the world, which is great because that's teachers around the world constantly providing us input and feedback on how they like using the tool. We have a mobile app. The mobile app is slightly different. It's called Planboard because that's kind of going back to our old chalk roots. But if you're keen and interested, and it is all tied in, right? So it's very much something you could take advantage of if you have free lesson planner as part of Schoology. You can also use that. But these are all great ways for us to hear from a lot of teachers and a lot of teachers around the world. I think one of the coolest things that I've gained from this is just the experience of like talking to teachers in Australia and talking to teachers in the UK, talking to teachers in Japan, and just really hearing what are some of the similarities and what are some of the things that everyone is looking for, because that's where we want to make sure we have the most impact, right? So those are just some of the ways. Obviously, I go on and on, but yeah, that's really helpful, is just really talking to teachers directly about some of these things.
Well, I know that there's exciting things that are going to continue to happen throughout the year in Schoology and in lesson planner and curriculum instruction. So, Keenan just said a shameless plug for the Ideas Portal. Also, just a reminder that we've got the roadmaps and things that are, the releases are all in the community as well. So, of course, Eric and I will highlight things, as we can. But if you really want to keep up, you can subscribe to those and find out what's coming next. So Keenan, I just can't thank you enough for joining us for the podcast today, giving us a little sneak peek.
I can't thank you enough for the opportunity. This is great. Like I said, I've checked the box of I've been on a podcast, so this is fantastic, and I get to talk about something that I love and care about. Like I've done this for over 10 years. Another 10 more, and yeah, I just, like I said, it's exciting to see how far it's come from that. Oh, we just want to replace a paper planner to, oh, now you can use artificial intelligence to help generate new ideas of how you want to teach this concept in your classroom and do it all within 5 minutes flat. Like it's just, it's crazy. I would have never thought I'd say those words even like 2 years ago. Now, like who knows what I'm going to say 2 years from now, right? So
that's so true. That's so true. Well, we look forward to it. You do great work, and
we're lucky to have
I know I'm very proud to show off this curriculum and instruction product because it's pretty phenomenal.
Thank you.
Looking forward to hearing people as they start the new year with some new options for lesson planning.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you both.
Well, thanks for joining this episode of the Schoology Learning podcast. Hope to see you next time where we'll talk about some more topics of interest and, of course, talking about our favorite platform, Schoology.
And in the meantime, if you click on the user toolbox at the bottom of the Schoology page, there are lots of resources out there, including other episodes of this podcast to listen to. Until next time.
And hope to see you next time. Thanks all.